Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Monday night to join me. I really do appreciate it. And so, for 10 seconds there, I was desperately struggling to keep my eyelids open. It's just one of those things. I hope that your Monday was just as filled with all of the excitement and joy as mine was. Comparatively speaking, I really didn't do anything today. I mean, I suppose going to Walmart is doing something, and shout out to Walmart for making sure that well over 80% of all American households around this country are currently being fed. And that includes you rich people out there. We see you. We see you shopping at Walmart. And it's okay. There's no judgment. That's why it's a store, and that's why they're a successful store at that. So, love Walmart. Ciao. The best people come from Arkansas. Anyways, all right. So let's talk tonight about the Fighting the Oligarchy tour. And so, link in the description below. We're gonna kind of, break it into a couple of different parts. These are improv speeches. I can't begin to relate the kind of importance that some of the things that this old guy's got to say, and I feel like it's an unfortunate time that we don't have someone like him leading the country, and instead I feel like it might be doing a better service to not be in a position that can be so easily compromised, like being the president or POTUS, you feel me, and instead actually being an active critic and advocate for social change through systemic, like through drastic change, you feel me, like taking something that clearly isn't working and trying something completely new. And with the help of all the cool new tools that we have in the 21st century, I'm pretty sure that it's not only possible, it's just a short time away from being our reality, whether we want to call it socialist or settle on something a little more acceptable for all of the people out there that want to embody the kind of freedom that owning things has, including myself. I don't ever want to see a world where the government owns everything. There's no fun in that. It's a balance. And moreover, some of the things that Bernie Sanders talks about or presents in these rallies, including going to Coachella, and he's the only guy over the age of 80 that would get a standing ovation from a crowd well under the age of 30, all having the best time of their lives. It's like seeing your really cool grandpa, right? Except like on a stage that is not just socially acceptable, but like the social acceptable place to be. Everyone wants to go to Coachella. Everyone, I mean, this is like an American bucket list from age 20 to 50 kind of a thing. It's like an experience, like Burning Man, It's like pretty cool that the old man was received so well in Palm Springs, of all places, at the Imperial Polo Field. A place that I've been to many, many times. Beautiful place. Love Coachella. So, yeah, I just think all of those things considered, it's really important to kind of listen to what other options are out there, and that don't specifically kind of harbor the injustice that capitalism does. And I think it's not just something that's socially acceptable to say. I just feel like it's hard to, avoid the truth. It's one of those things, and clearly the truth is just however you feel about the two parties that are, kind of running the things that do happen in this country. It just, they're either, both of them are doing things completely wrong. And in Bernie Sanders' case, Senator Bernie Sanders, he is an independent, and moreover, I feel like more of a socialist. It's kind of still one of those things that Americans are afraid to talk about. I guess they're afraid to label themselves as, and I don't think you should be ashamed of calling it how it is. And that's kind of, do you feel like people deserve to be treated equal? Do you feel like people need universal health care and protection from high interest rates that predatory lenders place on you without regulation from the government, and the fact that politicians can literally be bought. I mean, these things aren't things I think that more people than not aren't going to disagree with. I think that these are things that we can all relate to. I feel like we all want our children to have the most opportunities that they can have. You know, I feel like we all want to live as long of a life as we possibly can, free from unnecessary medical costs or the discomfort of knowing that you might not be able to survive because you can't afford to. I mean, the world shouldn't be like that, especially not in a world where there's so much wealth. And that's kind of the kicker, is it would be different if we were all kind of, going through the same experience together, but we're not. And it's really never been more clear. And I feel like these are things that are important to talk about, because the future happens whether we like it or not. And I feel like the better that we do planning that future, like the better we have a chance at actually doing good things, positive things, making sure the world isn't hungry, making sure that people have places to live, making sure that, moreover, not just these very basic principles are upheld, but that we actually give people an opportunity to participate in this really cool, sort of almost video game like experience that one can have in life if they have the proper opportunities and resources available to them. Life can be super fun, and it also can be, unfortunately, very, very, very bad for the majority of all the people that live on this planet. American or not, most people are experiencing a kind of experience that is almost hell-like. I mean, is almost hell-like, right? Just based on those aforementioned things that we've talked about. And I think those are pretty things, like easy things to understand. I think it's pretty easy to understand that we'd all like to save a little bit more money. We'd all like to eventually be able to purchase a home. We'd all like to be able to eventually consider having large families. I mean, all of these things that we can't consider because we just simply can't afford them. And the people that can afford them, again, experience some of the really awesome things in life. And that's, something that should be a shared experience amongst a majority, if not everyone, right? And I say if not everyone because not everyone is always going to want to participate in even sort of that kind of a system, right? There's always going to be a few people that, kind of always want to do their own thing. And I think if we live in a society that is a majority of people choosing to do the right thing more than not, that we can afford to compensate for those people that choose to, remove themselves or for whatever reason are unable to participate in a world that is just a little bit more fair. But I dare say that, the more fair it is, the less people are likely to not want to participate, right? Because again, quite often people don't want to participate because of the highly robust, corrupt, bipartisan, criminal led system on all three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. They're all corrupt, and there's something wrong with all of them. And they all must be changed, and that's time is now. It's not in the future. It's not. It should have been, 40 years ago, right? I mean, the world could be an entirely different place, but it's not. And that is unfortunate, but it doesn't mean that we can't do things to make it a better place, or we can't strive to achieve commonly held goals. And I think some of these very basic common goals are peace and stability, and ample opportunity to explore, the experience of life. Again, free from any sort of authoritarian government, free of, again, moreover, not just free of any authoritarian kind of government, but supported by a government that cares about you more than just a number, more than just what you're able to produce, but just actually cares about the quality of your life. And I think, moreover, that's like the biggest difference between some of socialism and some of what capitalism tells us to cherish, which is productivity over being a human being. And I kind of think that that's kind of weird because we're not robots, and I think we should all be so grateful because we now have the lovely experience of working side by side with these robots, bots, robots, Amazon distribution warehouse working alongside an actual robot, or being here on the worldwide internet, which is literally and quite conceivably just run by bots. So, this is kind of a real life thing that I'm talking about here, but nonetheless, we are not them. They are not us. We are different. And we get to experience a kind of thing that, they don't. It's just, I would rather focus on the quality of life of constituents and citizens, instead of the productivity side of wanting everyone to just make as many things as they can for as little as they can to sell for as cheap as they can. Like, it all just sounds like something that doesn't work, and I think clearly it doesn't. I don't know. So yeah, hope that you guys have a really good night. Thank you for your time. And just to kind of get out of character here, hey, I really appreciate it all the time, every single night. I take a couple minutes at the end of each video to thank all of the new people that joined the channel and all of my new subscribers. So shout out to them. If you're a supporter of Bernie Sanders, I'm about it, right? Because obviously this guy is a real insightful dude, and I've been aware of his policy making for the good majority of my life. I've always been a fan of what he has been about, and without question, he has been one of those people that have been elected by his constituents for a very, very long time. And all of those things, combined, sort of make him the perfect person to really listen to, like that cool old wise grandpa. Like, he's got some really interesting things to say, and it's important that the things that he says are eventually enacted upon. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these guys don't get an opportunity to see what their ideas inspire and how it can literally change a world and things like that. I think in and of itself, that's kind of the injustice of fighting injustice, right? Is you don't ever really get credit for absolutely anything, and then at some point in your life, maybe you get an opportunity to make a real impact. And I just, more credit to him for having the national audience available to captivate, as opposed to just what more traditionally is like some liberal people in the upper northeastern coast of the United States, right? So long overdue for sure, and highly supportive of the guy. Cool stuff. And I feel like if he came to New Mexico, he hasn't. He's bypassed New Mexico, but I think we were just a blue state. I think I would consider us a swing state, but I guess nonetheless, there are a lot of young people here. And moreover, I think a lot of people, I think, the Democrats will probably win the governor's seat this upcoming election too. So, I don't know. It's a pretty healthily blue climate, I'd say, right now. But that doesn't mean things can change. And I don't know. I'd kind of like it if he came down over here. He's been to Arizona. He's been to Colorado. It'd be kind of cool if that tour came here to Albuquerque or Rio Rancho, whatever, or Santa Fe. It's all good. But one of those places, that'd be kind of cool. Anyways, I know kind of a little bit a little bit of a different kind of a talk, but I still have a bunch more videos to make. I'm not sure if I'm going to make any more tonight, but I might. And I might not. So I guess it's either or, right? I'm so stupid sometimes. It's just because I talk to myself a lot and I don't realize what I say until I hear myself say it. Which, for the record, is why I talk to myself. If I don't practice what I'm going to say, like, how am I supposed to know, like, what I'm gonna say, or how it's gonna sound when I say it? It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? So I mean, I got a bunch of things to say, but it's really important that I'm like, okay, how should I say this? So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching my show. If you're not already, smash the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. Helps the channel out a ton. My name is Albert. This was Vlogs About Nothing, and I will see everybody soon. All right. Bye.